Hi Pisces, this is your Libra season video, October 2024 video. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version of this reading, which will be in the first link below. I will be putting out in-depth meditations for each season in the future if that's something that you may be interested in. That will also be out this month. I also want to let you know that my kitty is going through her time of the month. So if you hear her at any point, that's not something I can help. I just want to let you know that she is just having a moment right now. Okay. Just like to make things clear before we get right into the reading. So opportunities coming in. Opportunities for both love and money. Okay, nice. I love that. Also, this is also opportunities on not changing, but any opportunity coming your way, anything that you find, even if it's a relationship or emotional connection, you're finding the opportunity to think differently. You're finding the space within your mind to be open to a different form or adding to the already found security that you do have. If that is something that you're looking for, that is something looking for you as well this month. So it's very important that you realize maybe who and what your energy is tied to at this time in terms of your resources. If there's any changes you might want to make, especially if there's a misalignment in values in what's being said as opposed to what actions are being done. If there's a questioning of their value or the security that you have within the resources that you're also obtaining at this time, it is a good time to go over those contracts, those connections. They may come up very naturally right at the beginning of the month as Mercury has already moved into Libra. Either way, it's coming up. There also may be a deepening or someone in your life wanting to deepen a connection with you at this time. Wanting a deeper commitment with you at this time, maybe offering you a deeper commitment at this time. And there is, of course, a sense of security and a conversation there as well. How you feel is important. There's something else I want to say, and I'm learning to I sometimes have two thoughts that come together. I was once and I have to pick one, and then hopefully I remember the other, and sometimes they come out at the same time lately, and it's just so much that is processing. So if you need to take your time in answering, if you need to take your time in feeling into the deepening of this connection, or you deepening your sense of security with yourself by making yourself known to this person or this situation, being upfront financially is really important. As well as communicating very clearly at this time about where you're at and your needs and your values, especially with the person, whether this is a job. For a lot of you, I do find this to be romantic. If this is romance, being secure, you're finding that you want the alignment of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. You may not actually and actively think about it in that way, but you may notice that what you're seeking out, or what is seeking you at this time, the opportunities that are being presented to you, almost feel unaligned because it's not specifically what you're seeking out. But if you look at the description, right, you might see a job title. This is just what's coming to mind for those of you wanting a different job or whatever, or to experience something different. there's opportunity there to learn something new, but it's also going to be helpful in teaching you about your luck as well. Especially for Pisces risings with Libra in the 8th house at this time, and then Gemini in the 4th house. So it's about your foundations. You may be questioning certain things about your foundations. You may be wondering why certain things are coming up or new things being presented even though you're where you're at. Well, especially if you're wanting things to change, we don't ever get to choose when they do, right? We can make the choices and do what we can control, but we can't control the people responding to us. We can't control after our own part is done. So what I mean by if you go to the job title and you're not sure what it is, there's a description of what the job actually is, especially if, right, there are newer jobs being created, or you're looking for something different than what you're already doing, but within the same realm. Maybe you want to try a different position to see if it can help you understand if that's possible where you're at. And then also with people, right? So someone can really show you who they are, or say that they're all these things, claim to be all of these things, but really underneath, we all deal with our own insecurities, but they just want a sense of control over their own life, right? That's how they're seeking it out, is maybe through a career or through what they say, or being very attached to what they say they are, and the things that they say are the things that add value to their life. How do you know when something adds value to your life or someone else's life? Or how do you know when you are wanting something or being or attached to something, thinking it's adding value? It's when we get emotional about the physical things, not, being finite, right? We can buy something, we can choose, we can enter a relationship, job, or person, but we can't necessarily know if it's going to work out, if this thing's not going to break once we bring it home, how long it will last, right? That's a choice over and over again. That's a commitment to the self. That's a rediscovery of, okay, do we still have the same values? Is this place still holding up to what my expectations are becoming in terms of your involvement in your community at work, or what work looks like at this time, what resources look like at this time? And what's becoming very clear to you is that moving forward, there needs to be, you want there to be more light. And as the light seeks you, or as you find yourself in the light, in the space where you're seeing very clearly what is real and what's true for you right now, what's exposing itself to you right now in terms of that whole alignment, is that it has to do with clearing some things up, being vocal about what your sensitivities may be, being vocal about your excitement and your joy, which can be vulnerable in certain times, but being in a space, also finding that you're in your space in a way that makes you happy. So if it makes you happy to have a clean home, or to have the space be a certain way, and that's all you can control at this time, and you allow yourself to just have that or be in that, that's important. What is it like to be cared for? Yes, you learned something from whoever cared for you. And there's also this personal understanding of how you care for yourself, how you care for your joy, how you care for your happiness, how you care for your inner child, how you care for your ideas that show up, how you care for the desires that you have, how you care for what happens when you do feel insecure, how you care for yourself then, how you care for what you do already have, how you care for your voice. I can go on and on and on. this, at this time, there is this chance to really tap into what has been untapped at this point. And that means that real, the reality of change is real. This is very Plutonian. Oh my God. So for Pisces risings, either way, this is a change, a transformation. But for Pisces risings, this is Pluto going direct in your 11th house. And right now, leading up to that day, because this will be out around the day that it goes direct. It goes direct the 11th. This is about the system and how the system at play, what you're being exposed to, is a part of the system at play within you. The transformation within you that could have to do with this Pluto transit, or a transformation through your relationship with the masculine, because that is security. Monetarily, that's the earthly structures. Even though the earth is feminine, as earth is feminine element, Capricorn being the earth, there's still a masculinity to it as well. And this is also the father. So this could be transforming your relationship with that caregiver at this time, or that masculine figure. Not necessarily on the external, but the internal. It's making you, it's having you perhaps come to this realization as the light expands. As you see what caring for yourself really is like, especially on the emotional front too, right? So this going back and looking over contracts, the people, like, if there's someone deepening their love for you, and if it's a Taurus, or if it's an earthly person, or someone who's able to express their feelings in a way that you trust them and there's a deepening, then this is the time to be even deeper about what your needs are, what you need from your, like, what you need emotionally in order to feel like sturdy at this time, where you need to put your energy in order for you to feel like things are transforming at this time, Pisces. Where this is transforming your relationship with how you work within your own community, how you connect with people, what that really looks like, how that affects the way that you think, how you connect things. You may feel yourself having to lose control and let go of whatever you've been attached to, because when you open up to putting more energy into the joyful things, or what things that you actually need in order for yourself to feel fulfilled, to feel heard, to feel like you're living a heart-centered or aligned life, like we talked about in the beginning, it's also the ability to see through, really commit to it. Not saying that you're not, but the renegotiation is the recommitment. If there's something that you don't want right now, or if there's something that if there's a conversation that needs to be had, this is the time to do it. After this comes out, be very wary, or pay attention to the way that you're communicating. Or you may be brought to pay close attention to the way that you're communicating with life. The consistent conversations that you're having, maybe even with yourself, what has maybe come from, and I would even recommend looking into certain psychological approaches if you hear different people's voices in your head, right? If there are times where you've had to abandon yourself for connection, or if you've had to just play nonchalant in connection, or you absorb a connection, but you don't know how to necessarily go about maintaining the connection. Maybe you notice the connections you're only able to maintain at this time. It's because anything being cleared out and anything that's needing space is for most likely your best interest, so that the right things can come along. And then you notice when or if you're on the other end where you're, there's a lot going on, but there's other things coming along, and as you accept those things, as you accept even if you're renegotiating, don't hold on to that either. There could be something even better, but because your energy has needed to be so flexible, it can feel like a struggle at times. But what you're creating now, with what's presented to you now, regardless of how sure you feel, right? It's only about practice. The nervous system, you can know you want something deep down, but if it doesn't connect and if your nervous system isn't in the right structure yet, then what you're wanting is not yet time. Or it's not yet time for what you're wanting. See what I mean? Like Mercury's not even retrograde, And it's this trusting that wherever you're focusing right now, wherever you're putting your mind, wherever you're needing a break too. This may have you become very aware of needing space to tap into the change that needs to occur, that the idea or the right realization comes along, right? Pluto going direct. All of a sudden, you hear exactly what you need to hear, you think, and you connect exactly what you need to connect. It's preparing you for the transit going into your 12th house of your subconscious. And it wants you to see, what this will ask of you is to see beyond your own limitations. What maybe is limiting you from feeling more free. The Aries full moon coming. We have a lot to talk about in the next part. But what is making you very aware of what you're feeling and connecting to your deep authenticity, because through this process of whatever's changing now, it's just awakening the parts of you that maybe you've been closed off to or unsure about. The more you get what you want, or the things like that you're asking for, you're getting, the more you're realizing, oh, I can ask for something different. I can look at this differently. Like, this is possible. There's a restructuring happening here. Where was it in your life that maybe, or who was it that made this hard, or made you feel like it's hard? If that's you, it's okay. But if you do go back and you're able to understand, or if it's like a religion, or, anything giving you rules outside of your own judgment, like making you decide, like, you can't wear this, or you can't look like this, yada yada, it's important to have expression and freedom of expression. And you might notice that this does unlock something subconscious that you've been holding onto, that has to do with this alignment process. Like, whenever you're aligning to, this is the missing piece, this is what you couldn't see before, but you need to go through what you need to go through in order to get there. And what it's revealing to you is your own limitations that have the retrograde Neptune and Saturn both in retrograde in your sign, giving you all this disillusionment. Where do you go, right? Well, when you go within, you see with the light, like when you go within the dark, the light will eventually show up. And you can also see that once you begin to dream or see beyond your limitations, those limitations, they'll show up time and time again. The doubts, the fear, whatever it is, right? As you recommit, as you reconnect, whether it's in relationship, whether it's in a career choice. This, Pisces, is the path to your alignment. I just got a throat spray to help me talk more. Excuse me. But I redid this so many times that we're keeping this. Sorry about all the coughing. I am speaking up too. Hey, we all are being redirected. But this is what's going to help you feel more emotionally stable and secure within yourself too. So everything that's happening is always preparing you, in my belief. So you're being prepared for whatever your future's, whatever is being designed for your future at this time. But you're ultimately speaking whatever you're speaking right now, and however you're talking about yourself and others, you're speaking it into existence. This is a very magical time where I do believe, not that everything will be prepared right away and you'll get exactly what you want right away, but the words that we say are really powerful right now, and especially the motion behind it. So be very careful who you talk to, if you can, and be very intentional with your words, with your wants, with your needs, with what's real right now. And I do see that being able to open your eyes to who's being untrue to you at this time, being very grounded in yourself. The renegotiation make you feel more worthiness, being able to speak your mind, especially if someone's trying to lowball you, trying to act like they didn't do something, trying to pretend like something didn't happen when it did, and if this is someone's way of deepening your love, or getting married, or having kids, or renewing vows, or doing something to honor an anniversary, what is it that you both value, right? There's something you're rediscovering within this relationship, and that's bringing to surface more and becoming more obvious to yourself what you need to say, what needs to be cleared up. And bringing in the playful is very helpful, but also getting grounded in your spiritual ways. Maybe you do want someone who's more spiritual. Maybe they just haven't opened up about it, or more religious, or just doing something of that nature together. I think if that's something that you need at this time, and you need to, bring that in to your relationship, or bring your morals more into your work, on the other end, bring that into your work and being very clear about that with yourself. This is your path. Not everybody walks your path. Not everybody has to do life the same. This is a very personal thing for you. So let it be just that. This is what you need right now. This is the change that is the small decision that you make, what that sets in motion. And if you follow through with the decision, what that also, continues to set in motion throughout the winter. Can really bring you to a space where you can see through it's not just about goals anymore. And it's not seeing your goals through. It's about seeing your dreams through, seeing your purpose through, actualizing, what it is that you're capable of. And realizing that every renegotiation is for that. Every conversation or every commitment, right? You get to decide your value regardless of anyone else around you, regardless of your partner. You get to establish that at every point here. So even if that is what you come to by the end of the month, Pisces, I would say that's an accomplishment. And it's about just seeing through this in a way where you can also like make a living off of it. It's not just about, you know, your dreams are these grandiose, you know, artistic things. For some of you, this is about bringing more creativity into your life in a way that is helping you set in stone this sense of security and connecting to it. And that could be a part of what you're renegotiating. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're completely shifting jobs. This is just the perspective that you're shifting in your life. So, or that's being redirected in your life, and how what you're transforming through within yourself could relate to a father figure, masculine figure. It could relate to a community at large. It could relate to what you really do need to allow to rest, to realize how much control it's had over you, and how this is a triumph of its own, is being able to name that, being able to be aware of that, and finding yourself in that place. Meaning like really finding yourself, seeing yourself for who you are, especially if you've been like wondering like what's happening. There's some, you know, deep clarity there that you can find yourself meeting yourself at. And I know that, you know, that could feel uncomfortable, and I would say that this month, just take the discomfort with as much care as you can for yourself, because the good things are very good. The love that you've come into, the safety that you must feel in order to experience certain things too, Pisces, is something you have to remember. And if it brings you to a place in your life when you are unsafe, it's maybe time to take a look at that and all of the love that you can bring to that part of you and to the day-to-day, and how each decision you make is adding up to something, and then something else, and then something else, right? Okay. We'll see you in the next part. I'm going to get right into it. All information is below. See you there.